Good evening and thanks for joining us on your Monday. I'm Sophie Erber. Dozens of National Guard members from South Dakota will answer the call from the Pentagon to help out at the southern border. We have details on their deployment now in our top story at 5. 125 members to be exact of the 1742nd Transportation Company will be deployed. An activation ceremony was officially held yesterday at the University of Sioux Falls. Senator John Thune says that the soldiers will try to reinforce the border and establish some order and stability in a humanitarian way. Governor Kristi Noem there on your screen, Senator Mike Round and Representative Dusty Johnson were all on hand for that activation.
I think these ceremonies are important because it gives people like office holders and like the general community an opportunity to come forward, look these servicemen and women in the eye and say thank you. We understand the cost that you are willing to pay in the defense of freedom and in the defense of keeping our nation safe, and we can't thank you enough.
This will be a 9 to 12 month deployment for the soldiers. In July, Governor Noem sent 50 South Dakota soldiers to the border following Texas Governor Greg Abbott's request for help. As the Gabby Petito case grips the attention of millions of Americans, many with missing family members or friends are wondering tonight, where is their recognition? Petito's case was highlighted and showed how beneficial the community support has been in the search for both her and her remains. And Laundrie, the suspect, but it has left many thinking now if other cases got the same attention, the outcome in their situations could be very different. Coming up tonight at 10, KCAU 9's Mallory Smith shares the thoughts of one Native American woman who says she finds it frustrating and, quote, simply disappointing. Authorities tonight have identified a Vermilion man as a victim in a fatal crash on Friday. 38-year-old Tron Cook was thrown from a vehicle and then killed in a crash near Tabor, South Dakota. Preliminary crash information shows a vehicle was heading east when that driver failed to make the curve. That car left the roadway and rolled over. South Dakota's Highway Patrol is now investigating that crash. All information released so far, again, is only preliminary. Johnson & Johnson says they plan to ask federal regulators early this week for authorization of their COVID-19 booster shot. This news is according to officials familiar with the company's plans. On Friday of last week, the FDA scheduled an October 15th meeting of its advisory committee. That would be to discuss whether or not to grant emergency use authorization of a J&J booster shot. Last month, the vaccine maker announced that a second dose of its booster boosts efficacy by about 22% points to 94% when given 2 months after your first dose. Paddle fishing season started last weekend, and in Yankton, South Dakota, the popular sport is catching the attention of locals and tourists alike. The month-long season attracts residents and out-of-state anglers because of how big the fish can get and how the meat tastes. Jerry Promes lives in Yankton and has paddle fished his entire life. He says although more boats is more competition for him, the influx of people is huge for that city.
Oh, it's great for Yankton. You see, all over town, you see a lot of out-of-towners and all the restaurants and stuff are busy. So I'm sure it's good for Yankton.
That season officially runs until the end of October. People need a special tag as well as a permit if you want to keep a paddlefish. The Powerball jackpot has officially reached $685 million and a cash payout of more than $485 million. The Multi-State Lottery Association recently made changes to the Powerball drawings. That was by adding an additional day, now also drawing on Mondays. Wednesdays and Saturdays, of course, they still draw on in addition to get an effort for bigger jackpots. That appears to be working. KCAU 9 spoke with Siouxlanders about what they would do if they won that money.
Mainly, I would give it to my 2 kids and grandchildren. I would donate it to the charities here in town, like Goodwill, Midstep, that help handicapped children. I would donate it to any place that needed money.
That $685 million promoted prize is for a winner who chooses the annuity option, paid out over 29 years. Most big winners do take that lesser cash option. It is time now to turn our attention to the weather. Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson standing by. Scott, it does feel that although temperatures are cooling down. We're still holding on to kind of a late summer blast of warmth.
Yeah, it feels like we're in luck in the weather department out there, Sophie. High temperatures in the upper 70s and lower 80s today, about 10 degrees above the seasonal averages. 81 for Yankton today, 82 in Norfolk and Tacoma. The high temperature this afternoon, 77 in Cherokee and Storm Lake. Overnight lows should be slipping back into the 40s around the map. We expect to have a streak of nice weather ahead of us. Pretty decent weather to take advantage of getting a car wash or pretty much any outdoor activities. It does look like we'll have some changes as we head through the weekend and into next week with some small rain chances and a cool down. We'll have more coming up in the full 9 on 9 forecast. Sophie?
All right, thanks, Scott. The Facebook whistleblower has revealed her identity tonight as Frances Hagen, set to testify in a hearing with Senate lawmakers. Our correspondent Basil John has the latest.
If they change the algorithm to be safer, they'll make less money.
In an exclusive interview, Facebook whistleblower Frances Haugen told 60 Minutes the tech giant is putting company profits over public benefits. She hopes lawmakers around the world see the need to step in.
That they get the fortitude and the motivation to actually go put those regulations into place.
Tuesday, she will testify before Congress and call on the federal government to put regulations in place. Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn agrees.
We're going to pressure them.
Blackburn says her and her colleagues are disappointed that Facebook knew of the negative impacts its platforms have on kids and teens.
But they've never shared that information. They've not worked with parents. They've not said, here's a toolbox. Let's figure out how to make this a helpful experience for your young people, your teenagers.
While Facebook recently halted development of its Instagram for Kids app, Massachusetts Congressman Seth Moulton says social media can still be dangerous.
I'm worried about it for my kids. We clearly need regulation, and that regulation shouldn't be just a bunch of 25-year-olds sitting in dark rooms at these companies themselves.
But Moulton adds he doesn't want to see too much regulation stifle innovation. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
Meanwhile, President Joe Biden is trying to unite moderate and progressive Democrats over the price tag of that new budget reconciliation bill. The president has 48 of the 50 votes he needs currently in the Senate. Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema are the two moderate Democrats holding out. Manchin says his top line is $1.5 trillion, $2 trillion less than Biden initially proposed for the deal. The president says they are currently in negotiations, but in the meantime, protesters surrounded Manchin's houseboat in D.C. and on Sunday followed Sinema into a bathroom in the state of Arizona.
I don't think they're appropriate tactics, but it happens to everybody. The only people it doesn't happen to are people who have Secret Service standing around them. It's part of the process.
President Biden is working to build support for his agenda nationwide. He will be traveling to the state of Michigan on Tuesday. More potential homebuyers are having trouble affording a mortgage payment. Historically low interest rates are being canceled out by the fast rising price of homes. The Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta now says the median American household would need to spend more than 32% of its income on a typical home. That's the most since November of 2008. And with computer chips still in short supply globally, the makers of medical devices say they should be at the front of the line. The Wall Street Journal says makers of MRI machines and blood sugar monitors have at times been successful in using the argument their devices save lives to convince chip makers to fill their orders first. To be continued. And we continue to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month here at KCAU, and today we're taking a closer listen to a mariachi band that plays in a church, how they draw in Catholic worshipers, coming up in about 10 minutes.
And it looks like we're going to have some more mild autumn weather out there with highs mainly in the 70s, perhaps touching 80 a couple more times this week. We'll cool things off next week as we bring in some minor rain chances. The 9 on 9 forecast coming up next.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Sophie Erber and Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson. This is KCAU 9 News at 5. KCAU 9 presents these and other events because we're Siouxland proud.
The day is still warm, but you know it's fall because our nighttime temperatures are finally tumbling into that more average range.
Yeah, it does feel cool overnight, Sophie, and you know, you're starting to see some changes in the leaves out there, some more yellows and oranges replacing the greens, but boy, these afternoon temperatures have sure been on the warmer side, and that was true again today as we check things out from the Ho Chunk Center camera set up in downtown Sioux City. Lots of sunshine with us today as temperatures were able to surge to 80 degrees. That's 11 above the average of 69. The low temperature this morning closer to the normal of 43. We had a low of 44 down at the Sioux Gateway Airport. Here's a look at our temperatures now. They're in the 70s and 80s outside across the upper Midwest, 86 in Rapid City, South Dakota, 84 in Valentine, 80 outside in Lincoln. Current temperature of 77 in Des Moines, and a little bit more of a fall-like feeling as you move east. Looks like highs will hover right around the 70-degree mark. 71 on Sunday, mostly sunny. Temperatures dropping off to 68 as we get to next Wednesday. Here's a beautiful photo that comes to us courtesy of Adele Mack, the lovely rural scene there, and the moon shining bright in the distance. Thanks again to Adele for snapping this picture and sending it along. We'd love to share your pictures. Make sure to send them in to weather@kcautv.com. The process is simple. We'll send you a form, send it back, and then we will show your pictures right here throughout the day on KCAU 9 News.
Yes, especially if you do capture some of those leaves changing, and that's at a premium this time of year. So
yeah, some of the trees are really looking pretty out there. A lot of oranges and reds are starting to emerge. So again, get those iPhones and Android phones ready to go. Get those pictures. Send them
All
on.
right. Thanks so much, Scott. Sure. Well, extreme pumpkin growers gathered in Clarence, New York yesterday. Check it out for the 26th annual World Pumpkin Weigh-Off. People come from all over the world to compete at the Great Pumpkin Farm, with some pumpkins weighing as much as 1,800 pounds. That one needed a forklift. The weigh-off has seen world record pumpkins in the past and offers $5,000 to anyone who can set the new world record at the event. Pretty cool. Well, a group of middle schoolers are being hailed as heroes tonight for their quick thinking on a routine bus ride. Why they needed to spring into action, coming up in about 7 minutes. But first, mariachi music fills a basilica in Texas and lifts the spirits of worshipers there. How that tradition got started and why it resonates. Next. Welcome back. At a Catholic basilica in the state of Texas, there is also a unique part of each mass that keeps drawing in more worshipers. It's a mariachi band who has been playing there for the last 36 years. Marco Ramirez shares the story behind their music.
I just love singing for God. I love the feeling.
For 36 years, worshipers at the Basilica of Our Lady of San Juan del Valle have come to love the sound of mariachi serenading the Mass. Cecilia Chavez has been a part of this special tradition for the last 6 years and says their music is not only drawing in locals, but people across the nation.
People do come out of town and they mention that, like, oh my gosh, like I've never seen this. A lot of people even ask us for like our music so they could go back in their hometowns and do it. And that's amazing. We're like, yes, do it.
The mariachi performs in both Spanish and in English. Arturo Hernandez is one of the original members. And while seeing mariachis play inside a church may not be a common sight across the Catholic community, Hernandez says it gives the Mass a sense of excitement.
As the Father Nicolas says, we celebrate the Mass. It's a feast. Es una fiesta.
I mean, people cry. They come up to us and say, oh my gosh, you know, I felt it in my heart. And that's so nice to hear, you know, that our music just really helps them with their spiritual experience.
But it's not just the mariachi lifting those spirits. Monsignor Juan Nicolau was the first rector of the Basilica, and you'll still find him singing along. Father Nicolau says having this type of music is what keeps the Basilica unique.
The mariachi is very important because I was the first one that I had a mass with mariachi. And in the valley it was like a scandal. And now everybody wants mariachi. Because I realized that this is the music of my people. It's the music of the people that we live in the valley.
News Nation Prime gathers news from across our country at 8 every night. But before that, Leland Vitter and Dan Abrams break down today's hot topics, and we have a preview.
A modern-day Bonnie and Clyde.
Put the gun down now!
New video of that unbelievable shootout between teens and police tonight. An exclusive interview with the sheriff sergeant behind the chilling body cam footage. That's coming up on Balance. Now a look at tonight's Dan Abrams Live.
Thanks, Leland. Tonight on Dan Abrams Live.
New hints in court papers suggest former President Trump
could be facing possible indictments over fraud. But could those charges help him going into the next election? That's tonight on Dan Abrams Live.
Again, that comes your way every night at 8 on News Nation. You can see some of the channels here or check your local guide. When a bus driver suffered a medical emergency, the kid she was driving stepped up to help. How they aided first responders, coming up next. There's a group of middle schoolers tonight being hailed as heroes for their quick thinking when their bus driver suffered a medical emergency on their way to school last Friday. Danielle Lerner has their story.
In the mornings on the ride over to school, she'll play some music for us. Really helps me wake up.
But Friday's ride to school was different. The Scottsdale Unified Bus was about halfway through its morning route when Cocoa Paw 6th grader Luca Monomore noticed something wasn't right with their driver.
She started getting hot and hyperventilating and going like this. And then she started really hyperventilating when we stopped, and I asked her if she was okay, and she nodded no. And I asked her if I should call 911, she nodded yes.
From there, the team effort began with other students jumping in to help.
While I was calling 911, he grabbed the radio and called SUSD.
Several kids then filed off the bus to give the driver space. Another using a pin on his cell phone to help relay their exact location for 911 and SUSD dispatch.
We're at 11302 North Sundown Drive.
First responders arrived, and at last check, the driver was under a doctor's care. The district expressing their gratitude, saying, quote, the maturity and bravery they exhibited in this stressful situation and their knowledge of how to use technology to help first responders get to the bus quickly meant a world of difference to our driver's life, to her family, and to SUSD. They are heroes.
I helped someone, but they weren't feeling well, so it's kind of bittersweet. If I could talk to her, that'd be amazing. Yeah, I really hope she's doing well.
Taking a live look outside right now over a sunny downtown Sioux City. Scott returns just after this break with one more check on our forecast. Before we wrap up at 5, let's check in now with Tim for what's coming up at 6. Hi, Tim.
Hey, good Monday afternoon, Sophie. What a great way to start the week. Some sunshine, a beautiful day weather-wise out there. In the news coming up at 6 tonight, distracted driving is one of the leading causes of vehicle accidents on Iowa roadways. And now the Iowa State Patrol is getting serious about trying to slow down that trend. Coming up at 6, what they're doing and how you could be impacted when you're on the road. And after more than 50 years in the TV business, a one-time Sioux City business leader is out with a new book. After World News Tonight, find out what inspired former KCAU TV General Manager Ray Cole to author Hangin' with Winners. It's out at bookstores tomorrow, Sophie, and Ray's former Briarcliff graduate, in fact, right here in Sioux City and from Kingsley.
Right from our own backyard. Pretty cool. I'm sure a lot of people locally picking up that book. And a great day if you are going to read. I recommend doing it outdoors. Just a great night we have on tap.
Yeah, certainly a great venue for that. We should expect to see a crisp low temperature of 46 as the skies stay clear. Tomorrow looking for a high of 77. More sunshine and warmth with us. As we continue through the week, it looks like highs will stick in the upper 70s, perhaps touching 80 on Friday. A small chance of rain this weekend.
All right. Thanks, Scott. Thank you for joining us. We'll all see you here tonight at 6 with Tim and Jake. Until then, have a great night.